A woman goes missing from a quiet street in Kosovo. Weeks later, her body turns up wrapped in plastic, tied with cable. The town has a reporter for exactly this kind of story. He is calm, methodical, thorough. His name is Vlado Tedeschi, and for over 20 years, nobody has had a reason to look at him twice. What nobody knows yet, what nobody can imagine yet, is that Tedeschi isn't just writing about this murder. He committed it. Tedeschi built his career slowly. He started at a local radio station, then moved to freelance work for Nova Macedonia, the country's leading state-owned newspaper. For most of his career, his beat was unremarkable. Municipal meetings, school events, the small, quiet machinery of a small, quiet town. His wife of 31 years would later describe their marriage as an ideal one. Quiet, gentle. The only arguments they ever had, she said, were about his parents, back when the couple still lived under the same roof as them. His editor at Jutrinsky Vestnik, Ljubko Popovsky, remembered him the same way. An exceptionally quiet man. Nobody who knew him saw anything coming. Then, in 2005, everything changes. A local cleaner named Mitra Simjanaska, 64 years old, vanishes from the streets of Kosovo. Weeks later, her body is found, wrapped in plastic bags. She had been tied up, tortured, raped, and strangled. It is the biggest story of Tedeschi's career, and he takes it. His articles are detailed, vivid, precise in a way small-town crime writing almost never is. Readers love it. His editors praise him for it. Then it happens again. 56-year-old Ljubika Lakaska disappears. Found dead the same way. Then 65-year-old Zavana Temolkaska. Taken, according to one of Tedeschi's own articles, by two men who told her that her son had been hurt in a car accident. Nobody, not police, not other journalists, can ever confirm where that detail came from. Each woman is elderly. Each one works as a cleaner. Each one lives in the same small stretch of neighborhood. Each body is found the same way, naked, strangled with phone cable, stuffed into nylon bags. Tedeschi writes about all three. And by the third murder, he's writing for the country's biggest paper, to his biggest audience yet. Somewhere in that string of bylines, police spokesman Ivo Kotevsky starts noticing something wrong. Tedeschi's stories in Jutrinsky Vestnik keep containing details that were never released to the public. Not vague color. Specific, physical, crime scene detail, the kind only someone standing over the body would know. A scientist at Skopje's St. Cyril and St. Methodius University, brought in for her interest in the case, put it as simply as it can be put: Tedeschi didn't have a source for most of what he was reporting. The only source he had was himself. Police began quietly checking how quickly Tedeschi always seemed to have his stories ready. How he always seemed one step ahead of the investigation instead of one step behind it, the way every other reporter in Kosovo was. They start looking at forensic evidence instead of bylines. Tedeschi's DNA comes back a match to evidence recovered from Zavana Temolkaska's body. Investigators search his home, his summer cottage, his car. They find nothing else. No trophies. No physical trail connecting him to the other two women beyond the writing itself. But it's enough. On June 20, 2008, Tedeschi is arrested at his home in Kosovo. He's transferred to a court in the nearby town of Gostivar, then moved to Tetovo prison to be held while the investigation continues. Police charge him with 2 of the 3 murders. The third case, they say, is still under investigation. There's also a 4th name on their list, a 78-year-old cleaner who vanished back in 2003, years before the pattern anyone recognized ever started. His former colleagues are stunned. One of them later says that when police called to say the town's own crime reporter was the murderer, he could barely believe what he was hearing. All of these women, he pointed out, had lived only meters from Tedeschi's house. Tedeschi never stands trial. The next morning, June 23rd, prison wardens are alerted by other inmates that he hasn't returned from the bathroom. He's found with his head submerged in a bucket of water, in the cell he shared with 2 other men. A preliminary examination finds nothing to suggest he was forced. Under his pillow, a handwritten note: "I did not commit these murders." The fourth woman, missing since 2003, is never accounted for. No trial ever weighs the evidence against him in open court. No jury ever hears it. The only verdict that exists is the one written in his own bylines. If you want to uncover more dark truths and hidden histories, subscribe to FrameTale HQ, hit the notification bell, and leave your thoughts on this story in the comments below. Until next time, keep searching for the truth. If Tedeschi's own writing is what exposed him, was his need to publish those details compulsion, arrogance, or something else entirely?